It looks like the perfect bed and breakfast, but the host is anything but. We're reviewing the 2021 film Superhost. This is Chocolate Chip Horror. Hello, monsters, minions, and masters of the macabre, and welcome to Chocolate Chip Horror, the only podcast with ooey gooey horror goodness in every bite. I'm the Wolfman himself, Anthony, and as always, I am joined by my wife, Andrea, the Queen of Harpies. On this podcast, we review and nerd out about horror movies and snack on delicious treats. Andrea, what do we got cooking in the studio today?
We have delicious pancakes. While our other treats have been a bit more inventive, the inspiration for this week's recipe came straight from the movie itself. Our very friendly superhost, Rebecca, eagerly prepares a killer stack of pancakes for her guests before totally slashing her hospitality ratings later in the film. Safe to say, she won't be getting that 5-star review. These pancakes are light, airy, and picture perfect, just like the highly curated fake smiles travel vloggers Claire and Teddy put on for their channel. But don't let the fluffy facade fool you. Our bright red raspberry coulis represents the gruesome, chaotic truth dripping down over their perfect little online aesthetic once Rebecca's mask finally slips and things get bloody. Head on over to our Substack to check out this recipe. And don't forget to leave us a stellar review. Our survival depends on it.
Absolutely. And, you were just talking about those pancakes. I actually drooled on my desk. That was not intentional. I was just looking at these pancakes and I was like, oh my gosh, they're so delicious. So,
way to pat yourself on the back, pancake master.
I mean, they call me the pancake master for a reason. And it is because I excel, you understand, at making the perfect fluffy pancake. And so, in order to get the perfect fluffy pancake, because not every pancake is created equal. It really does start with the buttermilk. And if you don't go out and buy actual buttermilk, you can make it yourself. Just take milk and a little bit of white vinegar. And I believe it's like a very small amount. Isn't it it's like basically 1 tablespoon to 8 ounces of milk, essentially. And that 1 tablespoon of white vinegar will, start the process of curdling the milk, but you will get essentially buttermilk. And that buttermilk is what you use in conjunction with the baking powder, obviously. And then after you are mixing it, don't overmix it. That's the trick here. Do not overmix the batter. The batter's got to be thick. But if you overmix it, they don't get big and fluffy when you overmix. So you have to mix it enough to incorporate the ingredients and then just let it be. And I guarantee you, perfect. This is why I am famous, because I'm the pancake master. Yes. I have gone to multiple countries making these pancakes. Don't anybody believe any of that. So these pancakes are a perfect companion to today's movie. And I love that we were able to reuse that raspberry coulis from our other recipe because the pancakes are good by themselves. But that raspberry coulis, oh my goodness.
And wait until you see the video of the raspberry coulis dripping down the pancakes.
Yeah, it's bloody delicious. It totally elevates those pancakes. So, all right, so we got our treat. We might as well jump right into it. As a reminder to our listeners, our reviews are pretty spoiler heavy. So if you're not interested in being spoiled, you should probably stop now. Here's a quick and dirty synopsis for you. Superhost, directed by Brandon Christensen, who was an executive producer on 2018's What Keeps You Alive, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And he also had a small role in the sequel to Grave Encounters in 2012. Those are 2 movies that we don't hear enough about those 2 films.
I love Grave Encounters.
Grave Encounters is one of my favorite found footage films, absolutely. So he was a part of those 2 films. And in this film, it stars Sarah Canning and Osric Chow as Claire and Teddy, respectively. And they are a YouTuber couple, and they make travel vlogs under the name Superhost. And in their videos, they check in at different B&Bs just for a few days. And during their stay, they give their highly animated and, in most cases, overly critical opinions of these places. And each place gets a positive or negative review at the end. So apparently, the last video that they did, it went viral. And that's the one that they're chasing the success after. Because right now their likes are dwindling, their subs are dropping off, and they're like desperately trying to figure out how to make their next video go viral like the last one did. So it's the same standard YouTuber struggle. You do something that works, it gets a whole bunch of attention. You're like, okay, I just got to make every single video like this one, and then we're golden. Like it's the struggle that everybody goes through on YouTube, apparently. So that's what they're basically trying to do. And you will see a dynamic between Claire and Teddy. Claire just wants the channel to stay relevant and to keep raking in that sweet, sweet monetization that everybody is after. But Teddy, he's a little more casual about the channel, and he's actually got matrimony on his mind. So he's hoping to use this particular weekend as an opportunity to finally pop the question to Claire. And then he's going to secretly record the whole entire thing for the viewers, which I thought when he brought it up in the movie, I was like, that's actually a kind of a cool idea. Like that would get some views generated, you know, like people like stuff like that. So they get to the place, and it's this beautiful place. And pretty soon after they get there, they meet the host, who's this young, strange girl named Rebecca. She's played perfectly by Gracie Gillum. In my opinion, she's the one that steals the entire film. And after spending a little bit more time around her than they would like, they both get the feeling that they should probably just leave. But Rebecca wants to prove to them that she is, in fact, a true superhost.
Oh, you didn't say it right.
I didn't? Oh, I have to say it like she did.
Yes.
Okay, well, I better back away from the mic because I don't want it to peak, but she wants to be a true superhost. And then you have to like hold it with your eyes like completely wide, just staring into space like oddly. Like that's how she delivered that line. You'll see in the movie. It's crazy. So yeah, this movie I actually really enjoyed, and I cannot talk about it without bringing up the obvious difference between how Teddy and Claire are on camera, and then once the camera stops recording, how it just like drops, and it's like, okay, she's not happy, and he's doing his best to try to make light of a bad situation, but she's not into it at all.
It's tough because the YouTube channel is definitely their livelihood.
Right.
So they rely on it. And she said that they're in a really tough situation where they're, I think, living with Teddy's parents.
They're
And
basically like relying on them for
right.
help with this.
So I don't even necessarily think that she's unhappy with Teddy. I think she's unhappy with their situation.
Yeah.
At the same time, I cannot stand her.
Like when I first saw this and I saw that they were apparently a couple, I was like, I don't know why, but they don't really look like they would be a couple. And it's not because they're not cute together, but it's like she and him don't have a a very cohesive relationship, in my opinion. Like it's very obvious that she is business minded. You know what I'm saying? Like they started this channel to make money. The videos are not making as much money as they were. What are we going to do? Let's stop playing around and do what works. And he's just like, I mean, you know, we'll figure it
We'll
out,
figure
you
it
know? Like it's
out.
not something to worry about. Let's just have fun with it and everything. And I imagine at some point he feels like if he, you know, proposes to her and they do it for the viewers and everything, that might fix the situation that they're in, you know? So he's trying to be optimistic, but she's just like, this sucks, you know, and you can see it. He'll try to make little jokes and be, you know, like kind of humorous with her, and it just falls flat.
Yeah.
You know, she even says at one point after he made a joke, she's like, this is why the channel's failing. And I was just like, ooh.
Like, that's tough. My goodness.
She didn't even try to find humor in that, you know, like, and it was almost like she was blaming him for it. But it's like, you know, I'm sure she didn't mean that, but it was like, she's so adamant about trying to fix the situation and how much it's affecting her that it's sort of like she's projecting it out on him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad to see, but when they're on camera, they have to be like these YouTubers,
Happy
you know,
and perky and really just putting on this illusion.
yeah. And I don't know if anybody out there is a YouTuber, but like the movie came out in, you know, what, 2021, right? So the style that people were using to shoot videos, even in 2021, I feel like what they were doing was kind of outdated.
Yeah, it
What
definitely was.
they were putting like explosions in their video, like, you know, goofy explosions that you would put in with like After Effects or something, you know, to try to make it humorous. And then like they were saying stuff and then the words would pop up on the screen and make all these weird like people don't shoot videos like that. And they weren't doing that in 2021 anymore.
It actually makes me think of our good old friend Well, maybe I should say we are not friends.
Oh, are you actually gonna I wasn't expecting you to bring her up, but yeah. What's her name? Graveyard Girl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no offense to her because I feel like she's been in the game for a really long time and, it probably really is frustrating when it is completely your livelihood, but the most entitled thing I think I've ever seen on YouTube was Bunny losing her mind over not being able to have free refills at Starbucks.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't follow the channel, I only watched it because you did, but I was kinda just like, some of the things she's doing in the video are kind of outdated, I even compare it to people like, Jacksepticeye, who
Mhm.
is a famous, gamer, YouTuber, and some of the crazy stuff that like, his whole channel was based on the idea that he was super over animated, you know what I'm saying? Like, when he would come on camera, as soon as the video started, he was like, "What's up? My name is Jacksepticeye," and I'm just like, when you compare that to how videos are shot now, like, people are not doing that.
Mm, yeah,
And so I just wonder when I'm watching this film, like, do you guys actually pay attention to the other videos that are in the same genre as yours? Because that is not the trend anymore. And that's probably why your likes are going down and your subscribes are dropping off because you're using a very archaic style of YouTubing, and I'm not a master YouTuber, but I know a video that was shot in 2008 from a video that was shot in 2021.
definitely.
And it's just like there's a huge difference between what people are doing now.
I think it's just like with anything, like social media, you kinda get stuck in, "Oh, this thing seems like it worked,
Mhm.
so let me keep doing it," and then the algorithm changes, and then you're just like, "Well, this thing that worked just 2 weeks ago is not working anymore,"
Right.
so
So we see that with them. And like I said, he's doing his best, Teddy, to try to make light of the situation and he's staying positive and anything, but she's just so I think she's overly worried more than anything.
she gives me major Capricorn energy, and I say that as a Capricorn.
She's very business oriented, which you are as well. The
Mm.
reason if there's any success from this channel at all, a lot of it needs to go to the Queen of Harpies because she's the one that put all this stuff together. So yeah, essentially, the movie is mocking the modern influencer culture, the need for these views, cameras everywhere, trying to get every single thing that they can on film because they're like, that is content. Like, it's not about living anymore. It's about every single thing is content in some way. And you have to be able to like grab that stuff. So, and then of course, you don't want the negative reviews or the mean comments and things like that. So you get anxiety around that because not everybody's a YouTuber, but unless you are one, you wouldn't know the kind of stress that a lot of YouTubers go through. So this movie kind of shines a light on that. And when we talk about the online ratings and the negative reviews, we have to shout out that there was a really important cameo in this movie by none other than Barbara Crampton. I did not realize that she played in so many soap operas as well.
Yeah,
Like
she's a legend,
she's been
honestly.
in the game for a long time. So they get to this place and Teddy's got his plans for what he's gonna do. He's already told the camera, "This is what I'm going to do," and, he's even got the ring, like, he's so prepared. They get here, and the passcode to get into the house
Mhm.
doesn't work.
Already.
Right.
Just no.
Like, immediate red flags. And things only get worse. Now after they meet Rebecca, when we meet Rebecca, on the surface, she seems like a very sweet girl, right?
Mhm.
But and this is where I think, Gracie Gillum did such a great job because there aren't too many villains who are, like, in their own way charismatic
Yes.
and almost, like, overly likable,
Yeah.
but something ain't right.
Uh,
I have to reference Hugh Grant from Heretic.
yes.
Extremely charismatic, like, overly nice, like, you want to talk to him, like, he's so nice, so evil, you know what I mean? And, like, this is the same vibe that I got from Rebecca, it's like, she's so nice, it's almost, like, awkward, just like
Just like, "What is your deal?"
right, she's so bright-eyed, they tell her that the code didn't work, she's like, "Oh, you know, I'm sorry, I just changed it by mistake and I
I
forgot to tell you."
forgot.
Yeah, and you're just like, "How do you forget that?" But whatever, And then they get in there and they're doing their whole thing, trying to see all the rooms and stuff, and they realize there's cameras, like, everywhere,
Everywhere.
like, in every room there are cameras. And now I don't own a Airbnb, so I don't know if that's standard, but something tells me it's not supposed to be cameras everywhere, maybe 1 or 2, but not in every room.
I don't know, I think some Airbnbs do have them everywhere, As long as they're not in, like, the private areas, like the bathroom,
Right.
I think some people do, and, I mean, I guess to a certain degree, it does make sense. You're having total strangers come into your actual home.
True. You wanna make sure that they're not destroying the place, so
Mhm.
I guess. I mean, I'd still find it to be a little off-putting, like, why are there so many cameras? Like, they are watching us, you know? And so they're talking about that, and, you know, like, once they actually get settled into the house, you would think they're just gonna go ahead and, film the place. It's beautiful on the inside. It's got huge windows and
Yeah.
everything. Like, it's a actually really nice Airbnb. But then, like, all this crazy stuff starts happening, and, like, one of the first things that happens is, Teddy tells her the toilet doesn't work, and she's like, "Seriously?
Like,
That's
oh,
odd." And so she goes in there the next day with a plunger, and she's, like, trying to plunge it herself, and she can't figure out what's wrong with it, so she's like, "I'm gonna have to bring somebody over." And, it's a little strange because we later find out what was making that toilet
yeah.
not work, and Teddy actually figures it out. He looks in the toilet because he hears some weird sound coming from the bathroom, and I think it's a toilet, like, running, trying to, like, flush, but it's not.
I think there's also, like, a rattling sound, like,
Yeah,
you can tell that there's something in the bowl.
right, so he goes in there, and lo and behold, it's somebody's dentures.
Mhm.
So he has to, like, reach in there, get them out, and then, like, quickly start washing his hands because it's, like, the most gross thing ever. He doesn't actually tell her that that's what it was. He kinda just he tells, Claire, but he doesn't tell, Rebecca, "Hey, look, I found out what was wrong with the toilet. Somebody's dentures were in there."
I
But,
wonder what she would have said.
like, how did those get in there? It's like, this is her attitude. Like, she's so bubbly and almost, like, aloof and just, like, it's awkward how friendly and bubbly she is, and that, I feel like, led a lot of people to automatically assume something's not right with her.
Yeah.
She's just a little odd. And so that's just one example of how things start to go. So then the next morning, like, he wakes up and he, like, smells food. Like, while he's in bed, he, like, smells food being cooked. So he, like, gets up. He doesn't have a shirt on or anything. He's just in his boxers. He gets up. Why is Rebecca in the kitchen of the house making breakfast?
Right.
Like, she let herself in, who knows when, and starts making breakfast for them, and she's like, "Yeah, I just felt so bad." Like, she's desperate to get this positive rating, and she keeps bringing that up. She's like, "I hope this won't affect the review that you guys have." Like, she says it multiple
Yeah,
times.
she's very desperate for it,
Right.
which is really funny because when you like, by the end, we realize that the house isn't even hers.
Right, right. So it's like she's putting on this huge performance about trying to get this positive review and everything, but here she is in the kitchen making food for them, and that's not even the scariest part. The scariest part is when they sit down and they start eating it. They're like, "This tastes really good," and, jokingly, Claire looks at the camera, she's like, "Thanks a lot, Rebecca," and then the camera goes, "Bing, you are so welcome." So, like, she can hear them as well as see them. Now
Yeah.
that, to me, would have been a bigger red flag. Like, okay, cameras in every room, unsettling, but not necessarily completely unorthodox. But,
Actually listening to our
yeah,
conversation.
that I would have been out at that point.
Mhm.
Like, you know what? Nah, not gonna be okay with that. So, they've experienced all these red flags, and they're essentially just trying to figure out how they're gonna navigate this. But then we get to the part where Teddy is ready to make this proposal. So he's got the camera set up. He's actually trying to get Claire to come to this specific place, like, I think it's like a cliff where they can see, like, nature and everything, and he wants to bring her to this spot specifically so that he can do this. He's got the camera set up. She's confused. She doesn't know what's going on. And he goes ahead and he gets down on one knee, pulls out the ring, and, she's so surprised. She's like, "Oh my gosh, yes, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I will." And you're so happy for them because you're like, okay, she really does care about him.
She
Like,
totally leans into it, and you're like, "Oh my god, that's such a happy moment for them," and then we realize that she thinks it's all for the
right.
show.
Again, she's so adamant about everything has to be content that she can't even recognize a genuine moment when it happens. And so as soon as it's over, she's like, "Teddy, that was perfect. Like, people love proposals and stuff. And he's like, seriously? And I feel like that was like the straw that broke his back. That led me to believe that they've had issues leading up to that point where I guess he felt like the relationship was taking a step back and he needed to step up to the plate to get it to move forward. So he's had his doubts, but he was like, as soon as I propose to her, that'll solve everything.
Mhm.
Like, that'll get us back to where we need to be. And then she won't care so much about this channel and we can just be a happy couple. So when she thinks that this whole thing is just a show, and that he's not actually serious about that, like, he just walks off. And I feel so bad. It's like so hard watching
He's
him.
very defeated.
Yeah, he's extremely defeated. And so then we see her chase after him, and she's like, I didn't know, like, you had to know what that looked like. I don't know how anybody wouldn't have assumed that this was a genuine proposal
Mhm.
and that it was not just for content. She does try to come to him and say, like, I do love you and we will talk about this afterwards, but like, even at that point, I was like, you should be done with her. Like, you guys are not on the same page about this.
And I will say, in Claire's defense, even though I don't like her, it probably was really awkward timing for a proposal, considering the fact that they weren't in the best situation financially. They didn't have the best living situation. So it probably did really catch her off guard.
Mhm.
At the same time, you do kind of wonder what she thought would have happened on the channel if they had this fake proposal and then a wedding never actually happened.
Right. And like, after she basically says to him, like, we will have this conversation afterwards, she goes right back to content mode. And she decides that all the weird stuff that has been happening with Rebecca, they're gonna continue recording it. Like, she is the way that they're going to get this video to
Mhm.
go viral, like the last one. They have a video that came out before this one called, quote, "The Bitch from Draper." And apparently they went to this lady's house that was in Draper, and she was absolutely nuts. A whole bunch of bad stuff happened, and that was the video that everybody watched. And Claire thinks that by filming Rebecca and all her weirdness and craziness, they can get this video to be at the same level as that one. Um, I don't know if that was a good idea or not, but again, right after she told Teddy, like, we'll talk about this afterwards, she just transitions right back to it's content or nothing.
Mhm.
And that's just a testament to where her mind currently was there. And now that I'm saying that, I'm wondering if he should have known that before he decided to do this. Like, her mind is very much into trying to resurrect this channel and to create this content. So might not be the best time to propose to her right now. But like, as a guy, I understand he's trying to make it a very special moment, and he thinks that that's going to resurrect where their relationship is right now. While they're there, the bitch from Draper actually shows up.
Yeah.
I don't remember how she found out where they were.
Probably because they had been documenting everything along the way and posting content, so she was able to figure out where they were.
Right. Which is a little scary because she
Yeah.
essentially internet stalked them. So
But I think she kinda had the attitude where she's like, "Well, if you're gonna ruin my business, I'm gonna ruin your business." Because she said that she had trouble having people book her Airbnb after their episode.
right.
So she really felt angry and,
She decided to take matters into her own hands.
vengeful.
So she shows up at this Airbnb, and this is the first time that we see Rebecca completely change from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde.
Mhm.
And the bitch from Draper, her name is Vera. She starts throwing rocks at the window of this place.
And she breaks a
She actually
window.
breaks one of the windows. And so she gets so mad. They're arguing. She's arguing with these two outside, like, you ruined my business, blah, blah, blah. Rebecca shows up and she's like, what's going on? And so this lady tries to explain to her what's happening. And Claire's like, look what she did to your window. So Rebecca looks at the window and she looks back and she's like, did you do that? And Vera, she doesn't really have any way to explain. She's like, I'm sorry, they just made me so mad and they're liars. You got to watch out for these. And Rebecca's like, and you thought the solution was to come here and break my window? And at first, she gives her an out. She's like, you need to leave before I call the police. And Vera doesn't take the hint. And Rebecca goes completely animal, and she screams, "Get off of my property!" And she tells her she's gonna, cut her open or whatever,
Mhm.
like and that is what gets Vera out of there. So Teddy and Claire look at each other, and they're just like, "Whoa." And she's like, "You're kind of a badass, actually."
Yeah.
And then Rebecca goes right back to being this sweet little girl, like, "No, I know you guys have had such a hard time, and I really want a good review." Like, it's like a back and forth thing. We have seen so many movies lately where the villain does this, like, back and forth thing,
Yeah.
where they're one way 1 minute, and then they just switch, and they just change into somebody completely different. I don't know, but I'm starting to wonder if those are, like, my favorite kind of villains. The ones that can do that effortlessly, not the ones where it's kind of obvious that they're trying to do that. I'm talking about, like, a natural progression, you
Mhm.
know? Um, we get to a place where now those type of things are starting to happen more often, and Claire and Teddy are basically like, "We gotta go." They start packing their stuff up, they load the car up, and they're about to get out of there, and she's standing right there, like, "You guys heading out?" And they're like, "Yeah, we got a long drive, so we just figured we would head out early or whatever."
And she insists on having them follow her into the woods. Why did they follow her into the
Yeah.
woods? I don't know.
That was one of the biggest, "Why are they doing this?" moments, like, bad decisions, Like, I would've just hit the gas and drove away.
Yeah, like, it was one of those things where Teddy was very clearly ready to just be done, but Claire goes, "Oh, this would be really great
Again,
content."
completely obsessed with the idea that, trying to make this video. She doesn't even realize that she's in a lot of danger.
Right. Like, we've already seen that this girl is unhinged. Why are we following her into the
Right,
woods?
like, into the woods. When have you ever been led into the woods by anybody in a horror movie and it worked out for you?
Mhm.
Like, no. As a villain, I feel like she was super effective in maintaining both an interest in, like, what is she gonna do next,
Mhm.
to just like, "Oh, wow," like, she has crossed the line from just being strange and kind of, awkward to, like, she's a serial killer. So, this movie wasn't one of those movies that you're gonna watch if you're looking for 1,000 different messages.
No.
I felt like it was a fun ride, it was definitely entertaining, and Gracie Gillum stole the entire show. Everybody else did a great job, but you watch that movie for Rebecca because she's crazy.
Rebecca walked so that Nikki from Obsession could run.
Yeah. Granted, Nikki was under a
A
spell,
spell.
whereas Rebecca is just crazy.
Mhm. So, like we said, Claire and Teddy follow Rebecca into the woods for some ridiculous reason. And when they get there, Vera is there and she's laying on the ground. Rebecca basically is like, "Oh, she was so terrible. She did this to my house, and then she was awful to you guys." And then she stabs her, or at least we think that she stabs
Right, like,
her.
she stabs her, and then that's when Claire and Teddy are looking at each other like, "Oh my god, like, we are legit in trouble now because this girl's a killer." But she's not actually dead.
She's not dead. So Vera and Rebecca were in cahoots.
Right.
I'm assuming that Vera and Rebecca, they connected once Vera actually got there and broke the window. Because, I mean, any decent person would probably be like, "You know what? I should really pay for your window." At least that's we don't actually see this in the film, but I imagine that that's probably what happened. We're kind of filling in our own gaps here.
It's possible that after their video, The Bitch from Draper, uh, you know, got popular and then her business failed, she found out where they were gonna go next. Then she reached out to that Airbnb and was like, "You have 2 guests that are coming who did this to me, so we should get back at them." And they had a conversation about that, and so the whole throwing the rock up against the window and everything, that was all for show.
I
That
don't know.
I feel like that I mean, it looked authentic at the time, but thinking about it now, I'm wondering if that was just staged.
Who knows? It is a bit of a gap in
Right.
the story. We don't know how they planned this thing, but they did. So then she stabs her. Teddy and Claire are horrified, then realize that, oh, haha, it's all a big joke.
And, like, Vera, like, gets up, and she's, like, fine or whatever,
Yeah.
and, they're like, why did you do, like, what is this? You know, like, they're completely confused by the entire situation.
So then Rebecca says, oh, Vera and I, we talked, and after you were so horrible to her and ruined her business, we thought that this was only fair.
And that led me to believe that they spoke shortly after they aired that one video.
But then Teddy does something fatal. He asks about Betty and Lou Jorgensen, the actual owners of the house.
Right.
And Vera goes, Who's that?
And at that point, Rebecca was like, okay, the cat's out of the bag now.
Yeah. So Rebecca goes, oh, you guys almost made it. So I guess in her twisted mind, she didn't actually plan on killing them.
Yeah, at that point, it was more like a necessity type of thing.
Right. Because Teddy completely exposed that, hey, this lady does not actually own this house. So then she proceeds to murder Vera.
And for real this time.
For real. She's actually dead this time. Claire and Teddy go running through the woods away from Rebecca, but for some reason not to the car.
Again, bad decisions that don't really make any sense. Somehow they find themselves back at the Airbnb. And I'm just like, that's not where the car was.
Right.
So I don't know how they ended up there. They must have essentially ran in a big circle.
I guess.
And ended up back at the Airbnb. They got in there and she was like outside of the window with this crazy look on her face. Like it was basically the point in the movie where I was like, yeah, she's an iconic villain now.
Yeah. It's like, I truly believe that she didn't actually intend on killing them, but I think she found joy in killing them.
She wears their blood all over herself for like the last bit of the film.
I think she probably found the most joy in killing Claire. Because she actually does eventually tell Teddy, you were my favorite. So I don't know, maybe she was just waiting for that moment for somebody to mess up so she could have a good excuse. But
And then here's the thing, like, you already know that she can hear you when you're talking. And there's a camera in every room. Claire's in the room, like, essentially making fun of her about this. Like, did you not remember that she can hear y'all?
She can hear you. She can see you.
That's probably why she killed her first.
Right. So eventually Rebecca ends up in the house. She kills Claire. I think she really enjoyed killing Claire. And Teddy runs away. Rebecca follows him, and then she murders him outside of the car. He made it to the car.
He made it to the car, but she was there, and she murders him there on camera.
On camera.
Like, she was absolutely loving the whole YouTuber thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I think she enjoyed it more than they did.
Right. I would love to see a sequel of this movie where she essentially sets up camp somewhere else and does the exact same thing, and see how that plays out. They could make at least 2 more of those movies.
You know what? She's charismatic like Mitch from Wolf Creek. Yeah.
And she also has a little bit of the main character from the Creep movies. Because he was really charismatic too,
And then that had the whole video aspect to it too.
Right.
Oh, we're going to have to talk about Creep eventually.
Yeah, Creep is you feel awkward watching that one. I feel like our rating of this one is going to be rather high, but I'll let you go first. How many cookies do you give this one?
So this is an interesting movie because I love it so much, but I realize that it's not necessarily a great movie. They make a lot of very silly decisions throughout, but Rebecca is such a great villain. I'm going to give it a solid 3.
Okay. So edible.
Yep.
Okay. As entertaining as it is to watch, it's not exactly rooted in the most realism. And for that, I too have to give it 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
It was edible. Good film. I would suggest people watch it. I could definitely recommend it. But don't look to this movie for anything other than just a fun time.
Now, the thing is, had you asked us this at the end of 2021, we probably would have given it an even higher rating. But we had some slim pickings in 2020 and 2021.
That's true.
Because this definitely used to be one of our highest rated horror movies.
And I think based on the movies that have come out recently.
Oh my God.
It doesn't hold a candle to any of those, And that's not even to say that there isn't space for movies like this one, Like sometimes you don't need this super psychological film, or you don't really need a film that is filled with jump scares and ghouls and ghosts. You don't always need all that stuff. You just need a story that is entertaining to watch with a really good villain. And we got that.
Yeah.
So, good film, not the best. I would not put it in my top 5 for the year, but definitely entertaining. So, 2021's Superhost, directed by Brandon Christensen. We give it 3 cookies. Edible, not bad. That's going to wrap this one up, right?
Yep.
All right. We want to thank all of you slashers and scream queens for listening and tuning in with us. As always, make sure to head over to the Chocolate Chip Horror Substack so you can grab today's recipe for those delicious pancakes and read all the notes about it. And while you're at it, make sure to head over to the official Etsy store. That's etsy.com/shop/chocolate chip horror. Go there, get yourself one of our bits and pieces sticker sheets, and look out for the launch date of our next batch of limited edition cookie tins. We sold out, so it should be toward the end of the month.
Yeah, next Thursday.
Next Thursday, yeah. And not 5, 10. We are actually offering 10 of those. The last one sold out so quick, I guess we decided we were just going to double the number. So 10 cookie tins. So you have 10 chances to get one. Look out for those. As always, make sure to visit us in the digital graveyard. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and also YouTube. Like, subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments. We enjoy that. We want to hear from you. What did you think of Superhost? Did you see it? If you saw it, what did you think? And in your opinion, who is an even more unhinged villain than Rebecca? We named some, but I want to hear who you guys think is like one of the best villains when it comes to just like straight psychotic, as well as charismatic. They can't just be crazy. They have to be slightly charismatic, like almost
Remick.
Like that's a great one. Remick is a great villain for that. So yeah, let us know in the comments. Until next crime, I'm the Wolfman Anthony.
And I'm the Queen of Harpies, Andrea.
Now get out of our graveyard.